Breaking news just in the last few minutes. The Spokane Regional Health District has confirmed they recorded the highest number of COVID-19 hospitalizations since the pandemic began. Today they recorded 161 people currently hospitalized with the coronavirus in Spokane County, with 215 new cases reported today alone. There were also 10 new COVID-19 related deaths just over the last week. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Our other top story at this hour, air quality has deteriorated quickly this evening. I want to give you a live look now over downtown Spokane. Look at that. The air was much clearer even about 2 hours ago. In fact, at 4 o'clock we were in the moderate category. Air now is reporting an AQI of 155 right now, though, for the entire Spokane area, which means we are in the unhealthy for everyone range. People with heart or lung disease, older adults, children and teens should all be keeping their time outside brief and limit strenuous activity. And of course, all that smoke, the result of many fires that have just started in the last 24 to 48 hours. Tonight, the Ford Corkscrew fire continues to burn. That's near the town of Ford in Stevens County. And so far, crews estimate it's burned at least 14,000 acres.
It's also destroyed at least 12 homes so far. KREM 2's Ian Smay spoke with one woman who lost the house that she's lived in her entire life.
I am here at the Clayton Fairgrounds where many people have brought their livestock as the Ford Corkscrew fire continues to force evacuations. In fact, the smoke has gotten so thick that you can no longer see the fire from here, and the fire spread quickly after starting on Sunday, and many people lost their homes to the blaze. The fast-moving Ford Corkscrew fire left some people with barely any time to pack their bags and get out before the flames overtook their homes.
Basically just some tools and heavy machinery, and that was it. And our pets, and basically everything else was destroyed.
Melody Hall's family home was one of the 12 confirmed loss so far, but to her and her family, the loss is much more than just a statistic.
So I think that's the hardest part for me, is just having to leave behind our family mementos and photographs. Basically everything like that is gone, and so that is really hard for me to think about, knowing that I don't have those anymore.
Hall had lived in her family's home her whole life. It was one of the many thought to be lost in the Rail Canyon area as the flames of the Ford Corkscrew fire grew rapidly in the past 2 days. So far, it's burned an estimated 14,000 acres, or about 22 square miles. This isn't the first time the Halls witnessed a fire get close to their home, but sadly, this time, the flames just moved too quick.
Luckily, it didn't make it towards structures, but this one just happened so fast, and unfortunately, it looks like we're not the only ones who have lost things.
Hall says at least one neighbor told her they also lost their home in the fire. Her family hasn't been allowed back to see what's left of their property as crews continue to battle the fire. The only photo that made it through the fire was this one of her brother and their dog. Melody is staying with her sister in Loon Lake for now, but she hopes to move back to the place she's always called home.
Well, there are parts of it that have not actually burned. And so just trying to think if we could get some sort of a structure and just go back, even if it's just in a travel trailer for a while, until we can maybe start building something.
The Ford Corkscrew fire is still 0% contained, but fire officials have said that crews are trying to build a line around the fire. Fortunately, there have been no injuries reported at this fire. And in addition to those 12 homes that have been confirmed lost, at least 8 other buildings have been destroyed in the blaze. And fire officials say that number could easily climb in the coming days. Reporting in Clayton, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
And this afternoon, the Ford Corkscrew fire is still 0% contained, but fire officials say crews have started forming lines around part of the fire.
Now, they say the extreme drought conditions and the sheer number of fires burning in the region have stretched their resources thin.
We are spread very thin. In all resources, all fires have been spread very thin during this year.
Crews from across the area, even outside of the area, are now providing some help. But again, officials say they're just tackling these fires with fewer resources because there are so many fires burning in our area.
The Washington Department of Transportation reporting tonight that State Route 231 from Ford to Hidden Road will remain closed at least until Thursday because of the Ford Corkscrew fire. Drivers are asked to avoid the area and use alternate routes at this time.
We also know FEMA has now authorized federal funding for the Ford Corkscrew fire. Washington State's request for funds was approved last night because the fire could cause destruction that could ultimately cause a major disaster. This is now the 6th fire management assistance grant that's been declared just in 2021 to help fight Washington fires. This authorization makes FEMA funding available now to pay 75% of the state's eligible firefighting costs. Also tonight, the Walter Creek fire has grown to more than 22,000 acres. On Saturday, 3 fires, the Walter Creek, Spur, and Chickadee fires, all in Okanogan County, merged. And today, a community open house will be happening. That's at 7 o'clock here in less than an hour at the History Park Community Pool in Tonasket. Today, crews are working on fire containment lines and putting out spot fires.
We are also tracking a fire burning 2 miles southwest of 25 Mile Creek State Park. It's being called the 25 Mile Fire. Today it is burning more than 4,200 acres. Grass, brush, and timber are burning in this wildfire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Meantime, in Idaho, the Deceitful and Pritchard fires have combined into the Character Complex fire. The fire has grown now to more than 10,000 acres. It's 10% contained. As of this morning, there were no injuries and no homes lost. Communities in Eagle, Murray, and Beaver Creek are under a level 3 evacuation order. Level 3 means get out now. Power is also out in those communities. A number of roads are also closed, including Kings Pass, Pritchard Creek Road, and Thompson Pass. There are several wildfires we could not mention in tonight's newscast. That's why we made things easy for you to get information. Just text us the word fire to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you links with more information directly to your phone.
And aside from the worsening air quality, many of our northern counties here across eastern Washington are now under a flash flood watch. That includes Stevens County, where that Ford Corkscrew fire is burning. So we want to turn to Thomas Patrick now in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what does this mean for crews who are working on that fire tonight?
Yeah, we're balancing quite a few things, especially between the rain and the thunderstorms to the north, as well as the fires, the smoke, and the air quality as well. I want to start with the air quality, though, because it has deteriorated very quickly over the last 2 hours here. In fact, it's in the unhealthy range for Spokane and some areas off to the north as well. Unhealthy for some pretty much surrounding that, but we have quite a bit of rain on the outside of where that bad air quality is as well. Look at our downtown shot here. I mean, it just looks so hazy and so smoky, and I wish you could see just off to my right, which are usually the hills that separate the South Hill and the valley. We can barely see those as well, and of course it just kind of smells as bad as ever. Let's also plot the rain around some of these fires as well, especially in northern, northeastern Washington into North Idaho. These are the regions that are under a flash flood watch at the moment because any thunderstorms would be very heavy rain producers that could lead to burn scar flooding. So not city flooding, burn scar flooding. By the way, there's basically no rain over Spokane County, so I think smoke, especially from that the Ford Corkscrew fire, is actually moving into the Spokane area. So that is all that we're tracking, not just tonight, but perhaps in the days to come, as conditions are at least going to stay on the cool side. But again, rain versus that air quality. I'll show you how that matches together in my forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much. In other news, it was a fast-moving apartment fire that killed 2 people and destroyed an entire building in Browns Addition. And now, just 1 day later, the Spokane community is giving some much-needed support.
So according to a spokesperson with GoFundMe, about $23,000 have been raised across 9 campaigns for those families. Graham 2's Amanda Rowley shares how some of the victims are doing tonight.
The families in this Browns Addition fire may have lost everything, but they are not going through it alone. There are several fundraising campaigns online and help from the community so they can begin to move forward.
Sometimes words are never enough to describe the pain and loss from a fire. Not just for those who lost everything, but their friends, family, and the community.
We were all kind of in shock.
Very overwhelming.
It's really shocking.
But as the Browns Addition families process these feelings, the community is right there beside them. The fire early Monday morning took the life of Sherry Vick. She lived on the top floor of Tiffany Manor. The medical examiner confirms she died from smoke inhalation. She leaves behind 2 sons and 2 granddaughters. The fire took everything she owned, leaving her family with only the memories of their time with her.
There might have been some family pictures in there and maybe some stuff from me and my brother's childhood.
Her oldest son, Ryan, says her family was her whole world.
The thing that she really spent the most time doing was hanging out with my daughters, being grandma with them.
He says they are still waiting to learn what happened when Sherry died. Meantime, they are grateful for the donations that will help give her a proper memorial.
I am blessed and I am so grateful.
Joy McClary lived in the historic building next door and moved in only a few weeks ago. This was her first time making it on her own.
Felt pretty numb while I was watching. I just didn't know what to think or how to act. All I could think of was, this was supposed to be on me, and I did this all on my own.
But the community is not letting her down either. Joy works at Backyard Public House. The staff is like her extended family.
I wanted to make sure that we could help as fast as possible. When you lose everything you have, you don't really know where to turn or what to do.
So General Manager Mike Alverson decided to donate 10% of all sales today to the Backyard family members who were affected by the fire. This afternoon, Spokane firefighters joined in on these efforts and bought lunch there today. Some of them even responded to the Browns Addition fire.
It has been an amazing feeling knowing that people that I know, people that I don't know are there for me.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
So again, the families affected by that fire are getting support from the community. According again to a spokesperson for GoFundMe, about $23,000 has been raised across 9 campaigns for those families.
And in addition to those fundraising efforts, as Amanda just said, Backyard Public House donating 10% of all sales today to 2 employees who lost everything in that fire. Joy McClary worked at Backyard for 3 years. She moved into that building next to Tiffany Manor just a couple of weeks ago.
Again, she escaped the fire yesterday morning with just the clothes on her back. She told KREM 2's Amanda Rowley that she is grateful to the community for the donations to help her move forward.
Very overwhelming. I catch myself tearing up every 30 minutes and, thinking about the people who I don't even know, or, putting money in the GoFundMe page, or coming here to donate for me and for Ryan. And just, it's amazing.
So this afternoon, some of the firefighters who responded to the Browns Addition fire got lunch at Backyard Public House. They say they just wanted to support the fundraising efforts that were taking place there. So well done to them. Well, still to come on KREM 2 News tonight, our Tools to Schools campaign is going strong.
Our very own Laura Papetti is live from Starbucks with how you can help make this the best first day ever for area kids. That's coming up here in just a few minutes after the break.